Todd Champlin. And the Fever will take a timeout, assuming they called this a shooting foul.
Although Nalyssa Smith was formerly the Indiana Fever's shining star, she was fired recently, and her bizarre behavior is upsetting the league as a whole.
Okay, so I have the stuffed chicken breast.
Turn the camera.
Okay.
What's wrong with the Fever star? And did Indiana actually teach her the way music goes out because of the mix-up with Caitlin Clark? Growing up in San Antonio, Texas, Nalyssa Smith's path to the major leagues wasn't simple. Although she was a good athlete, there was a lot of internal conflict hidden beneath her fiery play. She faced adversity early on since her father was stern with her. She was shaped into a relentless warrior by early demands that went beyond her limitations and her family's financial struggles, but they also sowed the roots for her harsh, confrontational nature. Smith had an excellent high school record, but her aggression was already showing. She fought with coaches who dared to criticize her and even friends who couldn't handle her intensity. It seemed like every setback, she had only made her more defensive and distant. Then came college. Smith's talent really emerged during her years at Baylor, where she dominated the court and guided her team to victory after victory.
The Indiana Fever select Nalyssa Smith, Baylor University.
Nalyssa Smith, such an incredible career at Baylor, and she becomes the second pick of the 2022 WNBA draft. She'll be at the foundation of what Indiana hopes is a quick rebuild.
However, as her abilities grew, so did her ego. Her stubbornness, which made her a formidable opponent on the court, also made her difficult to work with. Teammates frequently characterized her as aloof and contemptuous, particularly when things didn't go her way. Don't get me wrong, Nalyssa was virtually unstoppable on the court and a beast on the floor. As she accrued accolades and awards, she also gained adversaries, which made her attitude issues worse. Please like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you appreciate this video, so you don't miss any more of our awesome content. Smith, Nalyssa, you've always been a formidable player on the court, but your demeanor has seriously hindered you. Let's talk with the obvious: your envy and resentment towards Caitlin Clark.
Season. She also talks about the help of Erica Wheeler. Yep. Naz Hillman. And that happened so quickly, but it looked like the left hand of Naz Hillman.
We'll go to the angle. Here's our top angle from the glass.
Now that definitely looks a little bit more like a swinging of the arm. A flailing is what...
It's obvious you have a problem. Is it a personal vendetta, or are you simply attempting to fit in with the people in the WNBA who are terrified of Caitlin's talent? You've repeatedly demonstrated that you're more interested in discrediting people than raising your own game. Instead of concentrating on your game, you've made it your mission to fit in with a toxic group that can't stand Caitlin's rising popularity, whether it's her skills, her success, or the fact that she's breaking records you never did.
That chemistry with last year's Rookie of the Year, Leah Boston. As the rejection comes from Smith, and here comes Clark. Knows she's dangerous in transition. Working hard against Jones. Here's Boston. 8 to shoot.
You seem desperate to prove that you belong among the big names, but this isn't the way to do it. Your pettiness, sarcastic remarks, and aggressive play against Caitlin come off as insecure, as if you're afraid of the attention she's earned. In addition, your attitude on the game makes it seem like you're too busy to step up when your team needs you to, starting drama instead of putting in the work. It's no wonder the Fever let you go, because you've demonstrated that you're more than just a problem player. You're a risk. You've spent so much time trying to fit in with the anti-Caitlin Clark group that you've lost sight of what really matters: your own development and your career.
I would just say, playing with confidence, just giving what the defense gives me, driving, one of my main things was just getting to the basket a lot more this year. And like I said, with such great players, it spreads the floor for me, so I have the opportunity.
The reality is, Melissa, you are destined to fail because, despite your immense potential, you are more concerned about undermining Caitlin than improving yourself. The league can see it, and it is not a good look. It's time to mature, let go of your jealousy, And keep in mind that you started playing for the love of the game rather than to become one of the few people who can't handle competition.
Crowd is already back in it.
Nalyssa Smith, an aggressive move as she takes it in.
Here's the rookie sensation who dominated the WNBA. You couldn't stand her, Nalyssa. The spotlight was slipping away from you, and Caitlyn's fame only made it worse. Fans could see how you would give her the death stares and refuse to help her up after a mistake. It seemed like you couldn't handle her success, as if Caitlyn's ascent was a personal jab at your reputation. But here's the thing, Nalyssa Caitlyn isn't the issue. Rather, it's your own anxieties and ego. You have the abilities, but your attitude is preventing you from using them in your romantic life.
If y'all comment one more time on about that damn parlay, please, because I know that's y'all hard-earned money, but I couldn't give two.
Let's now discuss Dion Carrington. Your relationship was poisonous, as is well known in WNBA circles, and you two were too close. Let's talk about your association with Dion. Carrington was like your assistant, always supporting your bad behavior and energizing you when you needed someone to bring you back to reality. In a relationship that has caused more harm than good, I care.
Pick up the phone and show them your food.
Okay, so I have the stuffed chicken breast.
Turn the camera.
Okay, I have the stuffed chicken breast.
Both of you are quick to support one another when it comes to causing trouble, especially when it involves targeting other players like Caitlin Clark. You feed off each other's worst qualities like an echo chamber for poison instead of encouraging each other to be better friends and players. You both engage in negativity and drama on social media and during games.
Caitlin Clark.
Last possession, but Caitlin Clark.
Clark trying to shake free Mabry all over her. Here is Clark. Clark separating, taking, and hitting Caitlin Clark with a difficult look from deep. Indiana on an 18-3 run as Clark directs traffic. Clark lobbing it in, what a find, and Boston the finish. A delectable dime from Caitlin Clark. Boston, who also has a 15-5-5 game today. Here's Clark, catch, fire, and connect. Fifth three of the game for Clark.
What could have been a beneficial friendship has become a two-person relationship because of you. Wrecking Crew frequently collaborates to pull down people instead of uplifting themselves. Dion's assertive and outspoken demeanor perfectly matches your own propensity to incite conflict.
Oh, what kind of dogs do we have? We're gonna show you guys later.
However, rather than being a dynamic team on the court, you have become known for your mutual pettiness. You encourage one another to make crude jokes and sarcastic remarks about opponents, which only serves to increase tensions and distance you from the rest of the league. Your friendship with Diony is like a never-ending cycle of drama. Whenever there is a dispute, you are both in the midst of it. It's obvious that you found solace in someone who shares your contempt for accountability, but it's holding you back.
Did not see her last night against the Sparks. As Smith, she has a beautiful little one-handed fader right there. Oh, and then the takeaway. Smith.
Oh, this is a grown woman's game today. The depth. Oh, what a block. Wow. The depth in the post. It's young, but very talented for Indiana.
Indiana just trying to find their way here offensively after this 2 for 11 starts. Smith open on the perimeter, and she cashes in on a three. Nalyssa Smith, her first second half minutes. Smith with a lot of space to roam. She finds Mitchell. That was kind of her story on Tuesday night. A lot of good looks at the rim. They just weren't going down. Smith got a hand in there, forced the turnover. Good outlet pass, Boston. Can Mitchell track it down? She can.
Nelson and Dio, rather than concentrating on enhancing your game, you're caught up in a vicious cycle of attempting to blend in with a clique that aims to undermine rising stars like Caitlin Clark.
Nelson Adota trying to save it and does. And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three.
Let's be honest, this friendship is about confirming one another's worst emotions rather than encouraging one another. It's the kind of friendship that brings you both down, making you appear more like high school bullies than professional athletes, and it's hurting your careers. Fans, coaches, and even teammates see it. Instead of being acknowledged as leaders, you've become notorious for all the wrong reasons, feeding off each other's energy, and not in a positive way. Every time you receive criticism, Dejai was there, fanning the flames, telling you that everyone else was the issue, but this friendship, if you can call it that, only served to reinforce your delusions.
Boston lobbing it in. Nalyssa Smith trying to give it back to Reese. Smith, tough bucket! And then
Keeps her eyes on the rim the whole time, and then down here, Nalyssa Smith bang and bang, and she prefers the turn and fade.
It's no coincidence that your most unprofessional moments frequently occurred when she was in the photo encouraging you. Recall that argument during the game against the Sparks, when Joni was right there supporting you despite the fact that you were obviously wrong. That kind of dedication sounds admirable on paper, but in practice, it only made you more conceited and disconnected from reality. Now that the Indiana Fever have had enough, you were supposed to be the team's face, but instead you be others. However, believe that this is a long overdue result of your destructive behavior. The dissolution of Nalyssa Smith and the Indiana Fever was widely anticipated, and her attitude issues had been simmering beneath the surface for some time before finally erupting.
Points per game offensively, so this is just fine from an offensive standpoint if Smith comes up with the block. But there haven't been enough moments like that on the defensive end.
here's Mitchell dancing, dishing, Smith hitting from three. Getting used to tossing to the height of Cardoso. Saying, I think I'm tossing it high, I have to toss it even higher.
It's obvious that your attitude is ruining the locker room chemistry. It's not just about one or two incidents. It's a pattern where every time there's a problem, whether it's complaining about playtime, arguing with referees, or making fun of your own teammates on social media, you seem to be at the center of it. The team has been trying to rebuild, but instead of being a cornerstone of that rebuild, your negative energy and refusal to adapt are dragging the entire team down.
And it rattles in. Clark with 7 to fire, draws a double. Feeds Smith, sling it outside, and Lexi Hall delivers.
Great extra pass by Smith.
Keep an eye on that. Boston 2 of 5 from the floor, had just 6 shots altogether in the season opener. Smith gets a piece of the Thomas flow. Weaves through traffic, leaves it short. Smith on the putback and a foul.
Contact, and then Nalyssa Smith in perfect position to offensive Look at Parker Tyus trying to get position inside.
On the drive, and Smith wins that battle, knocks it out of bounds.
Smith battling for it, takes the contact, count it.
Nice job here, tracking down that board and staying with it, and then...
This is a turning point for the Indiana Fever. They cannot afford to have players who are more concerned with drama than development. Instead, they need players who are dedicated to the team's mission and don't provide a poisonous presence. It is now clear that you must be removed before your negative attitude contaminates the entire locker room. If the Fever wishes to change, letting you go is the first step towards paving the road for success. Fans are cheering and saying it's time for you to face the consequences of your actions, while others are calling the Fever ridiculous. The online response has been intense.
Charles had 15 in the first and 6 right now.
Clark trying to shake free, get some space, did not take the three, drives. Smith gets loose and lays it in as Diamond DeShields hit the deck. 13 assists on their 15 made field goals in this first half. Here's Carter Off to Reese. Reese cuts in. Nalyssa Smith able to get a hand on it. Clark around the screen, bounces underneath. Smith waits and finishes. 9th assist for Clark. Nalyssa Smith.
However, Nalyssa, here's the thing: what comes next for you? This goes beyond your play on the court. It also involves your inability to work as a team, your fixation with attention, and your refusal to take accountability for your actions. Nalyssa, you've damaged relationships in the WNBA, and your reputation is damaged. Will you use this opportunity to reflect and change? Or will you continue acting in the same way that brought you here? Only time will tell, but if there's one thing we know, it's that this league moves quickly. So if you want to make a comeback, it will require more than just talent. It will require a significant shift in mindset.
A championship. And with me, person, I grew as a player.
Although Caitlin Clark lacks the cultural, religious, and lifestyle ties that unite much of the league, particularly the strong representation of the LGBT community, she has handled the barrage of criticism and thinly veiled hostility from some WNBA players with poise. She hasn't allowed that to define her story or isolate her. It's no secret that some players have targeted her because of her strength on the court, as well as the fact that she doesn't match their societal norm, but Caitlin has consistently responded maturely, concentrating on her game rather than wasting time on meaningless controversy. The more progressive and vocal mindset that much of the league shares is very different from Clark's upbringing and morals, which are based in her family and church.
The lead, Reese the lay, Clark to Reese, what you've been waiting for.
Skip past Clark. Mitchell, corner three, connects.
Man, just being... Get the defense back into the paint.
Nalyssa Smith.
She is an outsider in some ways because she isn't a part of these circles, but she has accepted that role rather than trying to change to fit in. Instead, she has dealt with the constant negativity by focusing more on her basketball efforts and establishing records that speak louder than words in every attempt to undermine her success. Rather than retaliating or joining in on the continuing societal conflicts, Caitlin has set an example of unwavering focus and resolution.
Being able to finish out his last a little bit.
Clark, step back, hits a three!
And there it is. Again, one time.
She's only shooting 67% from three.
Clark on a step back, buries a three.
Into a ball screen.
Clark, yes! Her sixth three-pointer.
I don't know if Dolson was ready for that. It looked like she was positioning herself for a rebound. But she was right there in front. Clark, deep three. Was by Caitlin Clark. When she gets you going one way, she's going to bring it back the other. She leads the WNBA.
Her ability to perform well under pressure has become a crucial component of her legacy, setting an example that other players in the league could follow. She has demonstrated that all it takes to gain respect is to be exceptional at what you do and to remain true to who you are. The ball is in your court now, Nalyssa. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see what you do. For more WNBA drama and updates, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you like this video. Tell us what you think about Melyssa's breakdown in the comments section below, and keep checking back.